Oh,
Hey friends, welcome to this week's episode of Dead Funny University. I am your host and fellow student Kelsey, and we are jumping right back into The Killers of Dead by Daylight. If you didn't see last week's episode, go watch that first because it'll make a lot more sense what we're doing. And Chris, our teacher, let's go ahead and just jump right back in here, my friend.
All right, let's do it. So, starting off top of the list, we've got The Huntress. This one was one of the ones that I thought that you might think was very interesting. So, The Huntress, really cool character. Man, dude, she was the first character that we ever got that was ranged. She has the two-handed axe, and then she also has a hatchet that she can throw.
Oh.
And those lockers that we hide in, whenever she throws all her hatchets, she can go to that locker and there's more hatchets in the locker for her. So she can refill her hatchets there.
Damn, that's awesome.
Giving her another reason to, go and check lockers and make sure no one's in there. Because she
Yeah.
can also just be grabbing some hatchets. I'm sure there are plenty of people who accidentally got caught in a locker because they were just trying to hide. And this chick was like, I need more hatchets. I'll just stop here.
Now, if she
So, yeah.
stops and gets more hatchets and wanders off and uses those hatchets and comes back, will it be refilled, or is there only... Okay, so she has unlimited hatchets.
Yep, basically. Now,
Okay.
what is cool is there is one perk that she has called Iridescent Head Hatchet, and that one, it will automatically down you if it hits you, even if you're healthy, but she can only have one hatchet on her at a time.
Okay.
To where I think normally she has around like 4 or 5 hatchets on her at a time. So, yeah. The reason why this killer is so creepy is she doesn't have a terror radius. Instead of a terror radius where your heart is beating, she's humming the entire time. Yeah.
That's the kind of detail that can show up in your nightmares later.
Yeah, and she, like, literally her hum is like the entire time she's in the game. Yeah, and it's a lullaby her mother used to sing her as she was little.
Oh my god, like, fuck off. That's so creepy.
Yeah. So her name is Anna, a figure clad in the head of a hare, a most disturbing sight. This new foe holds something human within her, some shards of ordinary life. She seems to be a hunter. I have met many different beings in this place, but this is the first one with a natural skill of hunting. In any other place, one could deem it a talent, but her knack for tracking, capturing, and killing is something else here. This is something else in her too. She seems to seek something.
Ooh,
So,
what's her story?
Her story, to give you a little quick one before we jump into the one thing I'm going to say here, is that her mother was basically who taught her how to survive. Like, these are two like badass women in the hardcore snow of Russia.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So her mother ends up getting killed by this crazed deer who like impels her with the antlers, and she then had to grow up on her own. So developmentally, she's not there. Survival wise, she's there. She's amazing. So she will actually go and capture like little girls that she finds out alone and bring them back, because she ties them up because she thinks she's keeping them safe. She feeds them and everything. These girls are fucking terrified, obviously.
Yeah.
But she thinks she's keeping them safe. So she hums that lullaby every single night to them, and then looks for toys and stuff for them while she's out killing people. She was in the middle of a Russian war because her cabin is out in the woods, and she took down an entire platoon of soldiers by herself with just her hatchets and her axe.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, she's a badass. She is a badass.
She's a badass, and she doesn't like... The other ones have this story of torture and of seeing the worst side of humanity and that making them into bad people. Bad here, I'm going to put somewhat in quotes, like not totally, because you're murdering people. That's non-negotiably usually not good. She's not that. I mean, she had the difficulty of survival, but she lacked all social necessities, and she still clearly has, maybe a heart of gold's a little too generous, but like she's actively caring for things that remind her of herself and the more desperate parts of herself. Like she
Right.
sees somebody that reminds her of her without any of her survival skills, and she's like, I can do something about this. That's not a bad urge. She's doing it badly because she doesn't know what she's doing, but
Right.
she's not a bad person.
No, not really. So with this one, we got as soon as Anna was able to walk, her mother started teaching her how to survive a harsh, solitary life in the northern woods. Living in such an extremely remote and dangerous area required skill and resilience. When sunlight became too dim for productive activities, they would take refuge in their house, a sturdy old cabin constructed to resist the toughest winters. Close to the hearth's warmth, Anna would rest in her mother's arms, surrounded by a few wooden toys and masks that she had crafted for her. Drifting off to sleep with stories and lullabies, she dreamt happy dreams, ignorant of the events that would soon change everything. Anna and her mother were stalking a great elk. Sorry, it was an elk. A great elk through the woods. They knew it was a dangerous prey, but it had been a particularly difficult winter, and they were almost out of food. The sorry, the starvation frightened them more than any forest creature. Without warning, the elk reared, bellowed, and charged at Anna. She was paralyzed with fear as the whole world seemed to shake under the immense beast pounding hooves. The elk was close for Anna to the elk was close enough for Anna to see the murderous fury in its eyes when her
Oh.
mother threw herself in its path, axe in hand. A blood-curdling scream escaped from her lips as the elk impelled her upon its antlers and hoisted her into the air with all of its strength. She
Ugh.
brought her axe down on its head again and again and again while it tried to shake her loose. With a sickening crack, the antlers snapped, and Anna's mother was free, and the beast collapsed. Anna was too small to move her mother's broken body, so
Yeah.
she sat with her in the clearing where she had fallen. To distract her from the dying elk's cries, Anna's mother held her and hummed her favorite lullaby. They stayed like that, the huntress and the elk getting quieter and colder, until Anna was alone in the silent forest. Eventually, she stood up and started the long walk back home.
Mm.
It's a lot more, but once again, we'll save that.
Woof. That's a lot. Holy crap.
Yeah, it is. She is a badass. So, here's that link that I was talking about. Whenever they're linked together, that's what that looks like for people who were wondering what I was talking about. So this is one of her outfits. Love that fucking mask. Fucking awesome as
Holy
shit.
crap, that's cool.
We got the official bunny one, and it is a blight skin.
Damn.
Yeah, she is a beast. Got her boar skin. She's got like a lot of animal skins, which my favorite one is her elk skin, but we'll get to that one in a minute. Which I think the elk actually has flesh pieces of her mom hanging on it too.
Okay, that's a bit much.
Yep, there's one of her in the soldier's outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, here's the elk.
Oh my.
Look how tall she is, though. Like that thing,
Yeah.
imagine that coming after you. I'm pretty sure like the survivors are like right here. Like she's fucking huge.
So it may or may not be her mom's skin. I don't know the actual lore, but antlers, elk antlers do look. Actually, that's. Mm,
I only think that because of the red. It makes me think of the blood.
yes,
But
but
that's just my thought. But I do
antlers
see
have
what
velvet.
you're about to say.
Yeah, with the velvet.
It looks like it could be like shedding.
Yeah, shedding the velvet. It looks exactly like that, where you've got bits of like skin, you've got the velvet hanging down, it's covered in blood. Like that's an absolutely normal thing to see pre-rut.
Okay. Fair enough. So it could be either one. I don't know the lore that much either. I don't think that they've actually covered that. So there you go. Her owl skin, which
Ooh.
looks really Japanese.
Yeah. God, that's cool.
Her bear.
That is fucking terrifying. Oh my god.
Yeah. And then Kitty.
I hate it, but I hate it only because I hate everything related to Cat Peach, and that reminds me of Cat Peach, so it can fuck off.
There you go.
Hate Cat Peach.
Yeah, like I said, I was pretty sure she would probably be at the top of your list.
Oh,
Of,
you're
like,
right.
people. And she is a starter character, by the way.
Nice.
Starter killer. So we're at our first licensed killer. Everybody that we've covered so far are original content killers from Behavior Studios. This is our first licensed killer. Some of you may know him, some of you don't. I'm pretty sure any Halloween toy store you go into or any Halloween costume store, you will see this mask in there. Halloween is the name of the series he belongs to. It is a movie that's been going on for a long time. They just did a new one not that long ago where he supposedly died, and guess what? They're doing another one where he didn't die. So
Shocker.
he's fucking back. His name is Michael Myers. His name is the shape on here because at first they were trying to avoid lawsuits because they were just starting to get around to trying to get licensing for him, and they didn't want to hold off because he came out for a Halloween thing. So they called him the shape, even though his name is Michael Myers. He actually has a secondary suit, which you do get in the actual movies. It's whenever he escapes the hospital. So he is in that. That's his only other suit. I believe he actually has a screwdriver and a lead pipe as his weapons as well. But Michael Myers. So Michael Myers from the Halloween series. This guy has probably terrified, if you're around our generation, this guy probably terrified your parents if they grew up watching horror movies. This guy made my aunt and my mother both swear that they would never date a Michael, and then they both married Michaels. So, hence my dad. Anyways, so yeah, didn't scare him enough apparently. So, Michael Myers. Don't even need to look at his lore for this one. I know this guy, although let's make sure that our observer had something to say or didn't have something to say. Oh, let's see, we do. Something, or rather someone, is here now. I've never seen this shape before. A man hiding behind a mask. He comes with a determination, but more worrying, he comes with an apparent grasp of the hunt. He does not strike me as someone who even went unwillingly to this place. Is there more of this being that I can fathom? I met him 15 years ago. Oh no. Oh, there's two different. So that was our observer. This is Dr. Sam Loomis, who is actually in the movies. I met him 15 years ago. I was told that there was nothing left, no reason, no conscience, no understanding. And even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil. And that's why it's called the Shape. They were calling him the Shape of Evil. And I do like that they called out the fact that he is one of the ones that a lot of people consider would be unwilling to leave this place. He would not fight back against the entity because he enjoys killing. Story of Michael Myers, just a quick rundown as far as an origin. As a 6-year-old boy, he murdered his parents. The only person that was left alive was his sister, and that was barely. A lot of people might know Laurie Strode, who is his actual sister, and she is in the game as well. She is played by a very famous actress. I want to say it's Jamie Lee Curtis. I want to be sure about that. Come on, give me her name. Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis. I was right. Jamie Lee Curtis. They did have to change her a little bit because they couldn't get the rights to do Jamie Lee Curtis's exact likeness, but she does have a lot of similarities to the Jamie Lee Curtis that we see in the movie that we do in the game, and we'll get to her when we get to the survivors. But the entire series is about Michael trying to finish off the job by taking his sister out.
Jeez. So, okay, in the actual character, is he motivated by killing his sister?
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Wait, you're talking about in the game?
No, in
the movies.
The real movies,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. In the game, he actually has. So whenever you load in as survivors, one survivor will have these entity arms around them, like their little picture, because
Uh-huh.
everybody's picture's on the side. They're known as the obsession. Like the killer gets more points for making sure that person specifically doesn't leave the match alive. And you get more
Ah.
points as the obsession if you do leave the match alive.
Okay.
He has perks around stalking and playing with the obsession the entire round. Like,
Oof.
hurting it, but not actually hooking them, saving them to the very end, making sure they're the last person to die or the only person to die, stuff like that. That's how he operates.
Dark.
Yeah,
Very
it's
dark.
pretty interesting. That's Michael Myers. That is our first licensed killer down. Not really too much to see here, folks. Let's keep it moving. Next, we have the Hag. The Hag is known to have the most brutal execution out of all of them with her Mori. I'll be surprised to see if people don't think Pinhead's has topped that, since he's the newest killer that just came out. But here we have the Hag. She is an interesting killer. We are back to original content now. This is not a licensed killer by any stretch of the means. So yeah, the Hag's name is Lisa Sherwood. And our observer had this to say: a new terror stalks the darkness. Her appearance strikes me as more intense than the others after but a glimpse of her haggard silhouette. Twisted and torn in unspeakable ways, with grayish dead skin stretched out over her
Emaciated.
emaciated, thank you,
You're welcome.
body, and you can't even see the words, emaciated body. Her arm is a horrid, overgrown deformity capable of slashing through both flesh and bone alike. Her very presence speaks of endless tortures similar to mine. I wonder, did she refuse the entity's calling until broken, or did she wish for this?
Oof. That's a terrible question.
So Lisa Sherwood grew up in a quiet village, mainly isolated from the rest of civilization. The people of the hamlet were kind, and the elders kept old traditions alive, often keeping the peace by personally settling the ever rare disputes. Lisa was particularly fond of the charms that they taught her to draw for safety and good fortune. One night, she was walking home through the woods, and a terrible storm struck without warning. Howling winds whipped at her hair as she stumbled through the swamp. Her rain-drenched dress plastered to her skin. In the slick, wet mud, she lost her footing, careening backwards and striking her head against a rock. Slipping in and out of consciousness, she strained to identify the dark shapes approaching her from between the trees. That's the last thing that she could remember. So, the Hag likes to draw, and once again, there's a lot more there, but we gotta give you guys some cliffhangers. You really want some more? Let us know. Anyways, so the Hag likes to draw hexes on the ground. They normally look like triangles. And what she can do is like, let's say me and you are playing, she hangs you, I want to come save you. She can go up and draw these little hexes on the ground, try to get them in like, different places, like in deep grass where it's hard to see.
Mm-hmm.
And if I step on them, it notifies her and she can teleport directly to that hex.
Ooh.
And it actually, to even take it a step further, it spawns a copy of her and it stays still until she teleports to it. Then it will start moving.
So
you have no
she's
idea
coming.
when she's going to. Yeah, no, you don't know. Because it does it regardless whether she chooses to teleport or not. So you'll see the body pop up and it's like, is it her? Is it her? Is it her? And then if it moves, it's her. If it doesn't, it just stands there and just breathes at you, just stares at you. And wherever you move, it follows you. It just stays still, but it will follow you with its head.
Whew. Don't like that.
Yeah. The Hag. This is JJ's newest killer that he's gotten used to playing. I like this skin a lot because once again, it's all tree shit. So let's go. We've got this one.
That one's kind of neat.
Another pretty fucking neat one. Yeah, little shaman type thing going on there.
Yeah,
Dead snake,
I like the snakes
all the way around it.
Yeah.
There's even a snake cut off snake head right here, bit into her leg.
Oh.
Not the prettiest girl at the ball, but hey, she's got one high heel shoe on.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. She may be somebody's style. You don't know. JJ might be super into this.
Hey, it's like they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Oh, got him, JJ. Anyways, so we got this one
cool.
where all the shit's moving.
I love that the shit is moving. That's awesome.
All right. Another foresty type one. This is a blight skin, as you can see, and this one
Yeah.
was as well. Oh, we missed her blight skin. There you go. That's her big boy blight
Oh,
skin.
God, I don't like that. Oh, my. The fact that you can see
Mm-hmm.
right through her, and so the blight's just in with her skeleton is just gnarly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's got one of the most hardcore executions for sure.
Yeah, I think you've told me about it. It's
Yeah. So that is the hag.
all right.
Moving on. We have the Doctor. The Doctor is in the building. This is a character I've started playing a lot recently because he's very fun to troll people with. I love the Doctor. This is not what he normally looks like. Let's see if we can't get his normal outfit here. Oh, well, no, we can't do that because I have it selected. Regardless, he normally has that face and a lab coat. Yeah, his eyes are peeled back, his mouth is peeled back. Yeah, but I like the whole Plague Doctor aesthetic, so I bought this whole outfit, and he looks amazing. He's got a lot of really creepy suits, but we'll get to that in a second. This is one of my favorite killers. I pretty much know his entire story, but his name is Herman Carter. Herman Carter was a kid that grew up and loved to tinker with things. As he got into college, he was studying medicine and stuff like that, but he always had this feeling that he could do things better if he was able to work on people the way he wanted to. He got taken away for a special program. He was put in this program where it was him and another person. One person was to play the good cop, one person was to play the bad cop. I can't remember what class this was. I don't think it's even said. It was just talking about that they were in this college, and this was one of the courses they had to take.
Mm-hmm.
There were 7 other students with them. They were locked in a location and left there for 7 days. The task was that in 7 days, by any means necessary, you were to get the combination out of the other 7 students' mouth. Whether you were going to do it as a good doctor or you were going to do it as the bad doctor. But you had to do it as the doctor that you went in as. He went in as the bad, the other guy went in as the good. He tortured and killed all 7 kids. Then, and while was killing them, was running experiments until they would actually die. So cutting them open alive and playing with their organs and seeing how certain things go. Most of his fun came from using electricity on their bodies and their organs to see what he could do to make certain organs fail, bring certain organs back to pumping again, all that fun stuff. That's where he got his fun. Not only that, but terrorized the other guy so bad, the good cop, terrorized him so bad that he got it to where his mind was basically broken and he was under the impression he did all of it.
Oh my God.
So, what this guy didn't know, our good friend Herman Carter here, what he didn't know was that there were cameras in the room the entire time. But that's what they wanted. So he got a deal signed to the same asylum that someone else was assigned to earlier who saw terrible things going on. And that's where he did his projects working for the CIA on coming up with new torture strategies.
Wait, so the doctor and the nurse worked at the same asylum?
Mm-hmm.
Ah!
Yep. Now, whether they worked together or not, I'm not 100% sure on that, but they worked at the same one.
Oh my. Okay, so what does the Observer have to say about him?
I have difficulty keeping my sanity. Each day, this altering world provides me with new trials. A man wearing robes of a doctor crossed my path from afar. I witnessed him walking around, searching, but he was not normal. Eyes and mouth pried open in a painful and disturbing way. Where do these fiends stem from? I do not trust him. He looks like he wants to bring pain, not healing. I will stay away, for it is the wisest thing that I can do. That's what our observer had to say. About our good friend,
Okay!
Herman Carter.
This guy's real upsetting, especially that laugh.
Oh, his laugh is fucking fantastic. I love
No.
it. So the reason why I like him is so whenever you're chasing people, you can shock the ground and it shocks them and they grab their heads and they scream real loud, which kind of helps you know where they're at. So like if someone's hiding and you think there's someone around you, you can just shock the ground and they'll scream real loud next to you and it will show you where they're at and you can just start chasing them. if you keep shocking them constantly, it keeps fucking with their sanity. And their sanity keeps getting higher and higher and higher towards insanity. If they're insane, they aren't able to see pallets. They start seeing versions of you that aren't actually there standing in front of them and stuff like that. Like it's about to hit them and freaking them out and shit, even after you're chasing them. When the killers are moving, they have a red glare coming out of their eyes. So you can kind of, like, as a survivor, kind of see which way they're going to go before you need to move somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The red glare's constantly on you the entire time, even if the killer's nowhere around you.
Oh.
If you're insane. And when you're trying to fix generators and stuff, you have things called skill checks, where a quick timer will come up, and you have to hit a button at a certain spot in order to pop the skill check correctly. The skill checks are going counterclockwise to throw you off, because they're normally going clockwise. So you're like all fucked up, and they have to be perfects. So like there's a little small bar and then a larger bar behind it. The small bar is a perfect skill check. The larger bar is a good skill check. Anything outside of that, you blow the skill check and it will like blow up the generator. It won't destroy it, but it will blow it up, making a loud noise, notifying the killer where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the doctor.
Can stop fucking laughing in my ear whenever you want to, I don't know, show me some skins or move the fuck on. Either option's great.
All right. So we got this first skin, which is pretty sweet.
I hate it. His
blight skin, absolutely love it. Love everything about this guy. His 3 eyeballs, they're great. Him injected. Yeah, he's fantastic. This is his forge skin. As you can see, this is the suit that I have on my other one.
Oof.
This is his COVID skin, as everybody calls it. Yeah, his little medical skin he's got going on here.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I got my Plague Doctor mask from.
It's cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure. His really interesting steampunk skin, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, that's a bizarre steampunk.
Mm-hmm. We got this one.
Fucking laughter. God damn.
This one. This guy. Combination of that guy. Another one. And then his actual, this is what he actually looks like, except this is normally white. This is the camo version of it.
Oh.
So yeah, that's the doctor. One of my favorite killers to be.
And next, please make him stop laughing in my ear. Ugh.
The cannibal. We got Bubba. Big old Bubba. And him wearing an old lady's face. Because the cannibal is based off of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is actually based off an actual killer called Ed Gein, who was actually from Wisconsin.
Yeah, I was going to let you know that he was from Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, trust me, I know my killers.
Yeah,
There's
me
one
too.
thing I do research on it. Let's go. Anyways, so for those of you who don't know the story of Ed Gein would kill people, cut their skin off, and wear it around like it was his own. They made movies about it called Texas Chainsaw Massacre, saying it happened in Texas, which it didn't. And basically, Bubba is he was in the movie form, which is where this guy is from. His mother was raped by her boss at the butcher factory. She gave birth to this, as they would say, ungodly sight of a child. And he basically had no education, no nothing. Only thing he knew was killing. So they had him constantly working at the butcher shop his entire life. Then one day his boss told him, go home because we're closing down the butcher shop. And every day he still showed up at the butcher shop. So finally the boss addressed him again and said, hey, you big dumb idiot, go home. And that was the last time his boss ever spoke, including everybody else that worked at the factory. And then as the time and time again, travelers come through Texas, a car breaks down, needs gas, something, they're out there on the outskirts in the country, and Bubba finds them, and he's got new outfits to wear.
God.
So yeah,
Nightmarish.
This is big old Bubba. He doesn't have too much to go through as far as skins go. His real name is Bubba Sawyer, and he's known as the Cannibal.
And the other detail about working at a butcher shop, there's actually a lot of either killers or serial killers that worked at butcher shops or at abattoirs of some kind. Like, not an uncommon thing.
Nope, not at all. So yeah, this is Bubba, also known as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, as you can see, he's kind of got the hammer chainsaw thing going on as well, except he doesn't run whenever he does his chainsaw. He just does a whole bunch of like this back and forth, and if he hits you, it's an automatic down as well, because it's a fucking chainsaw. Yeah.
What does the Observer have to say?
The Observer has this to say about our boy Bubba. Whether killers perform their heinous acts by the compulsions of their diseased minds or if they are forced into them by external pressures has long been a matter of debate. But for one killer, nature and nurture are linked. Leatherface kills not from a desire to exert his will over others, to satisfy carnal urges, or even to quiet the voices in his head. He kills because he is scared. Scared that others will hurt him. Scared that his family will be displeased with him. Scared that their shared willingness to eat human flesh will be discovered.
Okay, so the other major driving factor behind trauma is how it affects you. So, two things. A, dead funny PSA, don't rape people. Don't do it. B, love your kids even if they're disfigured. Like, deal with it. But like the fact that fear drives him and the fear that, hey, like somebody's going to disapprove of me, somebody's going to hurt me, somebody's going to hurt my family, like that's another very real reason for people being murderous. I dislike how accurate these are to actual human beings.
Right, exactly. 100%.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll wrap up because we're getting close to this episode here. That is another one of the license killers, and it looks like the rest of this row is license killers, so we can run through them real quick here because there's not too much on them. Freddy Krueger, as you can see, has absolutely 0 skins. Those of you who don't know who Freddy Krueger is, he belongs to the Nightmare on Elm Street series. This was the series that fucking terrified me as a child. This is the one that desensitized Chris so that way he can do the shit that you see him do now as far as play these types of games and watch all the types of scary movies that I watch. Freddy Krueger kills people in their sleep. That is his jam. That's always been his jam. If he is in the dream world, he is all powerful and no one can stop him. That has always been Freddy Krueger's thing. He is super powerful when they're sleeping. So, as a kid, I would watch this with my grandma real late at night on a Sunday and then have to go to sleep and wake up Sunday morning for school. Terrified to go to sleep, would cry my fucking eyes out because I thought this guy was going to kill me in my sleep. That being said, Freddy Krueger's real quick story here. He was a gardener at a school and some kids started to go missing. There are 2 different canon stories here. One of them is that he was actually a pedophile and was burning the kids' clothes, and they found the burned up clothes in a furnace. And the other one is that he was not a pedophile and was wrongly accused of it because he was nice to the kids because they were nice to him. So he comes back and kills the kids of the parents that had him burned alive. I said that right. Burned alive in their sleep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Okay.
That is his story.
That's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. And that is actually his name too. The Nightmare.
No pun intended. Oh yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, there you go. That is his actual name, The Nightmare. And our observer had this to say about our friend Freddy Krueger. The place plays tricks on your mind. Constantly, I question whether I dream of it or if I am awake. This most recent horrid ghoul seems to bridge that gap between the states of being awake or asleep. I saw him hunting another poor soul, someone who was not as lucky as me. A man with a hat and a clawed hand and a scarred man of sorts. He spotted me, and what actually happened next is still a mystery to me. Dreams took over, and I was sure to die. But I woke up. Not like in the manner where I awake at the campfire, but instead I just woke up inside the wretched forest with memories of nightmares within. I am afraid to sleep, but also to stay awake. That is our good friend Freddy Krueger, and basically his whole spiel in the game is that whenever he gets close to you, you will actually start to hear the song that plays in the movies. For those of you who don't know the song that plays in movies, it is 2 little girls, and they're normally jumping rope, and they're singing 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock the door. 5, 6, I don't remember the rest of the song. It's been a long time. Damn it. Okay. Anyways, I'll look it up. But anyway, so as I'm talking, so as he gets closer, and closer to you, and you keep hearing this louder and louder, it puts you to sleep. In the dream world, he can teleport out of generators. He can do all sorts of shit to be able to get close to you and hurt you.
Whew.
On the map, there will be these dressers that have alarm clocks on them. If you run up to the alarm clock and pull it, it will wake you up. Also, if your teammates see you running around and your head's to the side because you're asleep, they can actually like clap and wake you up. It takes a little bit, but they can actually clap and wake you up as well.
Which I imagine makes
Um,
noise and may alert him to where you are.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
So it's a risk.
So let's see here. The Freddy Krueger song. That was not the full Freddy Krueger song. That was skipping 7 and 8. Nope, that's the vocal of it. I don't want to hear the vocal. I just want to read it. So it's 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door. 5, 6, grab the crucifix. 7, 8, never or always stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again.
Ah.
That's 2 little girls jumping rope. Sing that in all the movies.
Now, does a
And they do
crucifix
it
actually...
very creepily.
Oh, of course, yes. No, they're not being melodic, or
No.
they are in a creepy-ass way. Does the
Mhm.
crucifix actually do anything to him?
No.
Okay.
When Freddy was made, a very interesting story. When Freddy was made, horror films were looked at as like trash films.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've listened to like the actual guy who played the original Freddy Krueger talk about like they were treated like they're never gonna fucking make it anywhere. No one cares about these movies. Da 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 da. They had like the smallest rooms, the smallest sets, the smallest budgets, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they were looked at the trash films. So back then, Christianity, as far as like, good versus evil, was, like the main fucking ideology whenever
Yeah.
it came to that kind of stuff. So grabbing a crucifix was just,
Yeah.
the normal thing to say. It has nothing to do with Freddy Krueger. And the other licensed killer in this row, and I think the last one for this episode, is the pig. This is the only, scratch that, one of 2 series that I have only watched partially through and refuse to watch anymore. And the reasons why is not out of fucking terror, not out of fear. At some point, torture becomes too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Saul definitely hits that, and the other one would be Hostel, where like they're actually like pulling out people's eyeballs and shit while they're wide awake and snipping them off and welding their fucking eye closed and shit like that. I can't. That's too much. It's too much. Like the people who created these movies need to be put like under like surveillance watch.
Yeah,
Like,
it's torture porn, and it's not okay.
Shit going. Yeah, it's not. It's not at all. So I've watched, I think, the first 2 Saws, and I think I saw the first Hostel, and I've never seen any more Saws, never seen any more Hostel.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, the pig, her real name is Amanda. From what I've read, she is the person who was in one of the movies, I think one of the very first ones, if not the first one, where she was one of the captive people, and then she actually ends up becoming Jigsaw's right-hand lady. Yeah. So she becomes the pig. She actually apparently even kills him in the series and takes over as Jigsaw. So here we have the pig in this costume. We have the pig in that costume. She doesn't really have anything too crazy, although I think this costume is kind of fucking stupid broken because of how dark it is. She can really hide in the shadows, and she has no terror radius if she's crouching. She's one of the few killers that can crouch. If she's crouching, she has no terror radius. Yeah. So having an all black costume, kind of fucking broken. And if she downs you in a dying state with her little knife here, she puts this glorious thing on your head and it counts down. And then there's these little boxes all over the place that have like all these like razors and barbed wire, and you have to stick your hands in and work on this puzzle to get the key to get this off. If you get to a box, doesn't guarantee you're going to get the key. You have to hit every box you can find on the map until you finally get it off. If you don't do it in time, your head explodes and you die instantly.
Jesus.
You also can't leave the match with it on your head either, because it will blow up as soon as you cross through the gate.
Holy shit, that's awful.
Yeah, she's a hard killer to play against. But at the same time, I do okay against her. If you're just paying attention, it's pretty obvious when she's going to strike. So yeah, that's the pig. As far as our observer buddy here, what he had to say about Amanda is... Amanda Young. At first, I actually believed that it was a pig that slept in front of me on the ground. An animal that somehow had eluded the banalities. Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Banalities of my old life and managed to end up at this forsaken and forgotten place. But then it rose from crouch to standing with its lifeless eyes nailed to my person. I ran as I have so brutally learned to do. My curiosity halted my escape after a few feet, and I hid in a cabinet. The pig moved like a predator, and I saw a human body wearing a pig's head as an ornament. It walked by the cabinet, and its snout was just a few inches away from me. I held my breath, aching for freedom. A sudden sound caught the pig's attention, and it walked away, but not without giving me a last final glance, as if it wanted to inform me that I was given a second chance, and I will not get a third.
Damn.
They do a good job with these observer like little add-ons for sure.
Yeah, I'm enjoying them.
Absolutely. And that will go ahead and mark it for this episode, and also crossing off 4 official licensed killers.
Got it. All right. That will do it for this episode of Dead Funny University. Again, if you want us to go any deeper into this game, please let us know. We are very interested in doing that. Chris clearly is willing. I'm willing. But again, needs to be content you want to see. And we will see
Mhm.
you in either the Twitch links or the Twitter links below, because you are going to go down there and you're going to click on something, or you're going to leave a comment, which would be super helpful. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Really comment. Check out the merch link, and we'll see you in the next class of Dead Funny University. Bye, friends.